Hello. So, as you probably have checked on my videos on the stories, sorry, it's been a while since I've gone live, but if you have checked my stories, we did say we're going to go live, and I'm going to be joined by the lovely Neha in a little bit, actually, very soon. Uh, and we're going to talk about lots of interesting things, but for now at least I'd like to say hello. It's been a while. I know I've been off the gram sort of, but but yeah, I think it's really great that we're doing this, and I'm really glad that you guys have joined us, and I'm hoping to have a really fun conversation. And yes, we're welcome to your questions as well. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going to be joined by Neha, and she has this amazing platform called Freedom to Feed, and I think it's really great what she's doing. And we've been planning to do this for a while, so I'm really glad that we're finally doing it. And I'm hoping we can talk about some things that people maybe want to talk about, and maybe people want to know about, when it comes to being a mother, when it comes to being a parent, and just everything that goes with being a mom, with the birth, with breastfeeding, with parenting, so all of it. I think it's going to be really interesting. So I'm just going to see if I can add. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm going to. Ooh la la, there's a lot of. Okay. And maybe. I'm still figuring this out, guys. Sorry. Um, okay. There we go. Um, I'm hoping this works. Hello.
Good morning, Ileana. Oh my God, I was sitting on the side and I was just like, add me, add me, add me, add me, and then finally you added me.
I'm like waiting. I was waiting for a request. I was like, oh my God, why am I not seeing it? Am I doing something wrong?
No, no, I know it's always terrifying. These lives, I'm telling you, the part that's most terrifying about these lives is, of course, just getting the tech through. But now that
Yep,
we're there, can you hear me? I just want to ask everyone before I
I
start talking
can.
about how
Yes.
amazing you are. Can you hear me? Can everyone just say a hi for the ones who are on this live? Can you hear us all? Because most of them are not here to hear me. They're here to listen to you on your
Can you
story.
hear me okay?
Yes,
Okay,
perfect.
great,
Is that a
great.
thumbs up from everyone? Okay,
I hope so.
everyone, here we are on Freedom to Feed, joined by the lovely Ileana. Of course, we're going to talk about motherhood, we're going to talk about breastfeeding, we're going to talk about normalizing conversations about postpartum, and most importantly, we're going to talk about how much your life has changed and how much you thought it would change after becoming a mom. Lots and lots and lots of conversations. And the reason why you're here, Ileana, I want to tell you, is that through conversation um, on the community and the community page, you're going to make a major difference because there are lots and lots of moms who are going to listen to you right now, even after. And I feel like every conversation, every story you share, and every experience you had as a mom, as a new mom, could make a difference in someone else's life. So thank you so much for doing this, firstly and most
Oh,
importantly.
thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, same here. Now, I want to ask you, where in the world are you? What time is it? Because it doesn't look like you're in the same time zone. Tell us everything.
It's actually 10:35 p.m., obviously.
Okay. Mhm.
And I'm in Texas. I'm in Houston.
Wow, far,
Yeah,
far
so
away.
kind of like on the other side of the world right now.
And where are the babies right now? Like you're sitting
So I
here
was
and other.
literally right while I was talking to you just now, I was just checking the monitor on my baby. Because like I have to keep this on the
Wow.
side, so I'm like I have to watch him. He's asleep, and the other one's asleep as well. My older one's asleep as well, and my husband's watching him, so I don't have to have a monitor on him. So that's a good thing.
Isn't
So
that just, is it, how much has, firstly tell me, how are you?
I'm. That's a very loaded question if you think about it. It's like, is it just like how are you? It's like, yeah. I mean, I'm good. I'm sort of I'm handling things. I think I'm staying afloat, if that makes sense.
No,
That
it makes
that
sense.
analogy of the duck where you look like super calm on the surface, but you're like paddling like crazy underwater. So it kind of feels
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it kind of feels like that
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah. No, staying afloat can be easy sometimes, and sometimes it can really take the mickey out of you. Are you,
Absolutely.
so there's this, ex am I saying this right? There's Keanu.
Koa and Keanu, yes.
Okay. And how old is Kwa? Kwa is your older one.
Koa is 2 and we're in August. So he just turned 2 on the 1st of August.
How
And
old is Keanu?
Keanu is about 2 months and 10 days.
Wow, okay. So
Yeah.
which means that you had Keanu when Kwa was
When
really
Koa was
young,
like,
right?
yeah, he was like about a year and like almost 2, but yeah.
Okay. Um, let's start from the beginning. Like I want to ask you everything from the beginning. We're going to start with Koa because he's
Hmm.
not old either. It's not like you're going to, jog your memory back like 10 years where you have to be like back then, back then.
I know,
Let's
I
it's
know.
it's all here and now. Um, did you think now I feel like it's different when you become a mom for the second time versus when you become a mom for the first time. Now, when you had Kwa,
Hmm.
how much did you think life would change and how much did life actually change for you?
When I had Koa, um, it changed. Like I knew it was going to change for one, um, but I didn't realize how much it would change. Like there was lots of stuff, when it came to I was reading up. I had this book that takes you through every week. So like the 40 weeks, and so every week it tells you how your body changes and what's going to happen with the baby, and it's like I read all these things about being pregnant right up to the birth, and then when it came to actually being a parent, I didn't read a lot of books about being a parent. So there were like bits and pieces that I knew, and there was bits and pieces that I was aware of, like when it came to postpartum depression, I was aware of it, and I was like, I said, I think I can manage it. I think I've got, my wits about me. But nothing prepared me for lots of things. For one, I mean, the love that you feel for this little thing, and the fact that you've actually made a whole baby is is just it's I can't describe the feeling. It's something else. And it's like it's literally like your heart is walking outside of you. It's unreal. Like I was this incredibly um what's the word? Like paranoid helicopter mother. I think I still am. But
No, I
it
mean
was
the camera explains it, but no, you have to. You have to. Everyone's going
but
to do
it
what
was
they've got to do, like whatever works for
exactly.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. I guess so. And I think it made me feel better to just be incredibly hands-on. I was very lucky I had my mom with me, but I actually didn't let her do a lot of stuff as well. So it's different. I mean, like, it's like I can't really explain. There were some very, very, very hard days, and there were some incredible lows that I couldn't explain why I was that low. Um, but I think having an amazing support system and like people who just, I think, understood me, understood where I needed the space, or just understood that I needed to be sat down and talked to and explained and maybe reassured that, hey, you know what, you're doing okay, you're doing the best you can, and you're not superwoman, and you can't have it all together all the time, 24/7, and
Did you
it's
have a
okay
lot of
to.
those people in your life?
Well, not a lot. I didn't need a lot. I mean, my husband's amazing, so I had him by my side, and my mom was really great, in spite of the fact that she has 4 kids. She's brought up 4 children. She understood that I was coming from a
Wow.
different space, and I'm like, listen, this is how I want to parent my child. And I'm not saying that you're a bad parent, but I'm just saying that my parenting style is probably going to be different.
But
And
any,
she respected
sorry I'm
that.
interrupting you, but any
No,
generationally, like, did you see any stark difference? Like, if she's had 4 kids,
hmm
you don't question that. I mean, no
yeah,
one can, right? Because one is okay, two is great, three is a party, four is like, that's
yep.
it. Like, yeah, you're half a doctor by then. But I'm just saying, well, that's a joke, of course, but I'm just saying that what did you think? Like, because you're saying that I wanted to do this differently. Sometimes, even with my mom, I want to do stuff differently. But then I realized I am the same person. Like
Right.
I'm as, but this conversation is not about me. So what did you see that was different from your mom raising 4 kids at that time versus you having Kwan raising him?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of, like for example, something as simple as water. Like you're not supposed to give a baby water, like when they're newborns. But I remember that when not like maybe my cousin's kids or somebody, like we'd give them certain things, like, oh, they've got like an upset tummy. There was like a certain water that we would give the babies. But like here it's like no, it's like you don't give your baby water, it's not good for them. So like lots of things like that. But I just feel like the way I wanted to bathe him, for example. Like she was like, I'm not sure. She's like, it's been a while since I've given a baby a bath. But so she was trying to explain to me, and I was like, no, 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 I don't want to do it that way. So I was like this
Mhm.
incredibly, like, maybe a little bit overly paranoid mom, and I probably got on her nerves a lot. But I think she kind of got it. She understood that I needed to do things my way. I needed to figure it out my way. And I don't know, maybe there was some sort of an instinct in me that just wanted to do things a specific. Like I was worried about my kids, my baby's skin, for example. I didn't even let my husband kiss the baby.
That's okay. To each his own. So like, okay, fine. And what was his reaction to that?
He was very tolerant of me, I would say.
No, no, I mean, that's great. Clearly, yeah, yeah. No, no, but I'm just saying to each his own. Like, every parent knows what's best for their child. And if you think a certain way,
Yeah,
I feel like it's totally okay. Tell me, is it different now that you've had Keanu, and are you less, if I may use the right word, because
paranoid.
you used it, yeah, paranoid. I didn't want to, but are you less paranoid? Because it changes, right, with the second one.
Certain things, yes. I mean, like with Koa, I remember I was tracking everything. So from the day he was born, I was like at the hospital. They asked you to track how many times you fed the baby, how many
Yeah.
diapers you changed. Was it a wet diaper? Was it a poop, or was it a pee? So all these things, and I remember having these little notes, which I think I still have on my phone somewhere, of, of how many times I was fed. And I think I did that for, I don't know, maybe at least a month or two, because I was really worried. Like, as soon as he was born, he was a certain weight, and then when we left the hospital, his weight was much lower. So I was
Yeah,
really
you dropped the
paranoid.
weight.
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
why has he lost so much weight? And then you go for his first hospital appointment, I mean, his first pediatric appointment, and I was told that he had dropped even more weight. So I was incredibly worried because, then it comes into then the whole breastfeeding thing comes into play. It's like your milk really hasn't come in yet. It's been like 3 days. And you worry, or at least I worried, is it going to be enough? Am I going to have to formula feed? I don't want to formula feed. And again, it was a weird, like I was very conflicted because I was like, there's nothing wrong with formula, but somewhere
Of
inside me, I
course.
was like, I feel like I failed if I don't feed my child, if I can't feed my child. So there was a lot of all of those feelings, and I was really paranoid. Like every appointment we had with Koa, it was just like I was so anxious. I was like, I really hope he's going to put on weight. I really hope his weight's okay. I really hope everything's all right. So with Keanu, I think, of course, there was the same worry, but I think maybe I wasn't as stressed and I took it a little easy. And I was like, okay, if his weight does drop considerably, we'll figure it out. We can always lean on formula if we have to, and we have the luxury and access to those things. But I was fortunate enough that, I didn't have a problem with his weight. I mean, the doctor's like, oh my God, he's actually gained like over a pound really quickly.
No,
So
and
we're
also
good.
because you're like I feel like if there's if the mom's a little more relaxed, then
I think
also the
so.
interpretation of every checkup and by the second time around, like we also had like multiple things like for instance there's a huge amount of concern about jaundice at birth and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then during Gurik's time, it was, it lasted longer, but then you're just less paranoid. I also feel you're more busy because you have two to look into. So
Mm,
your anxiousness kind of takes a backseat because there's only that much mental space you have.
that's true.
Um, but more importantly, when you're talking about, okay, so you spoke about keeping that the notes. Even I had a diary. I'm not good with tech, of course, you know that. So I had a diary where I would write down everything because I was also feeding. And again, nothing wrong with formula, no judgment on that. Nothing wrong with um, not being able to express as much. It's every mom's journey with their baby, and breastfeeding, of course, is so we started Freedom to Feed when Meher was I started Freedom to Feed when Meher was 8 months old. I felt
Wow.
that breastfeeding is spoken about very little. It still is a very large topic. You need to, and it is of course, there's a huge amount of medical infrastructure around it, but I
Hmm.
feel that there's a lot that can be solved through community and community help, like lack of judgment, normalizing conversations, not sexualizing it, also realizing how isolating it is for a mom. And you know
Yeah.
how it's like, oh, it's not just like, oh, बच्चे के feed का time है तो कमरे में ले जाओ. You're a food
Right.
source, but people need to be sensitive towards the fact that this is what's happening. Or
Mm.
even a simple thing like when, and this is back in 2019 because she was born in 2018. So in 2019, I was like, okay, let's go to this mall. And we stepped out, massive mall in Mumbai.
Yeah.
And when I asked someone, I said, where can I take her for a feed? And they just pointed towards the toilet. It's just, these things need to change. And I've seen that
Yep.
over time. So, you know, at airports and things like that, everything is changing. But let's talk about your breastfeeding journey, Ileana. Did you think that A, were you overwhelmed by it? B, did you think that it is something? For me, I'll tell you how what happened to me was that I didn't think that it would be so beautiful, but at the same time, it would require so much work and attention, and you just always have to be there. Like it's the first kind of sign, and then as a mom, your availability for your child kind of starts decompressing because other things you can, have your husband do, like give the kid a bath or something. But
Right.
this, you
Yeah.
have to like be on it. What was
Yep.
it like for you?
It was, I think, I have to say also, I was very fortunate that about two or three of my girlfriends were also pregnant at the same time as I
Yeah,
was.
that really helps.
So one of them gave birth a few months before I did. So I was asking her every single question. I was like, listen, you've got to like give me details of everything, like from the birth to everything. What can I expect?
Uh,
And she did tell me, she's like, breastfeeding is like really intense. It can be really painful, but she's like, it's the most beautiful thing as well.
yeah,
And she was absolutely right. She's like, it was definitely painful initially. And then, you have the other complications that come with breastfeeding, with mastitis, which is, I had no idea it was going to be as intensely painful as it was.
yeah,
Um, but it is such a, I don't know, maybe privilege is the right word. It's such a privilege to be able to feed your child, and like in the connection that you can have with your baby is really lovely. Uh, I was, I think it was the first time around. I think I was very stressed about it, and there was lots of like, there was for example, at the hospital, we were told, would you like a lactation consultant to come and speak with you? So I was like, yeah, of course, like, I'd love to have an expert come and talk to me. And I just felt so much judgment from this woman. She was like, the first question, she's like, do you plan to breastfeed, or are you going to be formula feeding as well? And I'm like, well, I plan to breastfeed only, but you don't know what's going to happen.
yeah. I
And
just want to pause you
yeah,
right there over there. I just want to tell everyone, especially on our community, we get that so much, and it's okay. Like if you want to formula feed, that's okay. If you
yes,
want to breastfeed, that's okay. If you want to start semi-solids, and if you think that your doctor is saying that it is the right time, you don't have to compare. Oh, someone started at 4.5 months, someone started at 5.5,
yes,
someone started at 6.5. Please, I just want to tell everyone there is no judgment. We are here to normalize normalize every conversation, and this is important. So please continue.
No, I think the main thing that you said is compare. You know, the fact that I was comparing myself to so many other moms. I was like, oh my God, like, maybe this is not okay, maybe that's not okay. And I'm like, every woman has her own journey, every mother has her own journey with her child, and you know what's best for your kid instinctively, I think. So you're not going to go out of your way to do something that's harmful for your child. So again, like you said, whether it's breastfeeding, whether it's formula feeding, whatever it is, you know what's best for your baby. And I think I just went with it, and I was lucky enough. It was pretty good. Wasn't too bad. I had mastitis a couple of times, which was not
Oh
fun.
my God.
It was
Sorry.
really not fun. But it was just lots of conflicting information, where this person at the hospital is like, oh, you shouldn't pump for at least 6 weeks. And that eventually led to mastitis, because like at my second week appointment with the doctor, she's like, you need to pump that out. Like that's just really, really inflamed right now.
Yeah.
So I think I was
And
so
also
worried.
painful.
It very, very painful. Oh yeah. So like I had a fever and everything. It was really bad.
Yeah, yeah. And it
Um,
comes like instantly. Anyway, we've all been through it.
yeah.
I'm sorry this happened, but yeah.
It's just that I think I I was relying on the information so heavily, and I was like, she's a lactation expert, and I was so afraid that I would let my baby down if I did something wrong, so I didn't pump, and things like that. So I think eventually you sort of learn on the job, and yeah, with Keanu, it's been a lot
Yeah, that
smoother.
was my next question.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely a lot smoother. Yeah,
So like and now you feel like I wouldn't say know it all, but now you feel
not
like
at
you're more
all.
in control of the system, the pattern, demand, supply, all of that with
You know, to an
Keanu.
extent, I don't think I'll ever have it all together. I don't think I'll know what I'm doing as well. Like sometimes I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, but I'm just sort of going with the flow, and I'm just sort of taking it as it comes. And um, thankfully, I think I'm doing the right things. I mean, both my boys, touch wood, are healthy, and they're happy, and I think that's all I can hope for.
Yeah.
So I've
They
just
are. I just want to tell everybody, none of you will get a glimpse of this, only when she's ready. But I've seen the boys, and oh my God, they've got. I haven't seen Michael that much. Like I was trying to zoom in and look at his pictures. They've got the best and the best of the two of you. They're absolutely adorable.
oh,
What's it like? I feel like having a support system, sometimes it comes with one person, sometimes it takes a village. What's it
right.
like between you and Michael? Like, do you guys, are you guys completely hands-on? Do you have a larger support system? Because you're obviously in Houston. I also feel that seeking help, finding help is far easier here in India than it is there. So tell us, where does he fit in? Or does he handle everything? I wouldn't say nothing because obviously not.
So no, we don't have help, and the good thing about being in Bombay, Mumbai, um, I've always said Bombay. Honestly, it's something that's just been stuck with me. I know I shouldn't, but anyway, the good thing about being there is that yes, you do have access to a lot more help, and you have access to like to so many things, and also like my friends are there, and it's just it's home in a way, far more than what Houston is at the moment. Um, but I think what was nice about being here is the privacy, I think, of it all. It was just nice to sort of be in my own little bubble. Um, the nice thing about giving birth, I would say, here is that I could have up to 4 people in the room, I think, with me.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
it was amazing. Like during
So who
course
are the four
time,
people?
well, during course time, I had my mom, I had Mike, of course, my husband, and I had my sister come over because I said, "Hey, I want pictures taken. I want
Yeah.
someone to take
So
photographs."
she's the one who takes. I just want to tell you, we had the funniest live with Radhika. I mean, we had a great live with Radhika, but she had the funniest story to tell us, and then how her baby
I
came
did. I
early,
heard about
and
that.
and and
Yes.
how her mom couldn't make it, and she was just like, I was only allowed one person, and she was like, it would have been the hardest decision
I
of her
totally
life
understand.
whether
Yeah.
to have a husband or a mom in. So she was like, it's just like saved her a lot of trouble, and that baby kind of
Absolutely.
saved her from making that choice. But four is a big number. It's a party in there.
It is literally a party because I mean, I actually again wanted to do everything naturally. I said, you know what? I don't want to do the epidural. I wanted to like push through and like do this naturally. And unfortunately, the first time around, I couldn't do it because it was a very complicated process and it just dragged on. But eventually, when I did get the epidural, it became a party in the room because I had music going. My doctor comes in when it's ready to push, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love the vibe going on in here. It's like a
Oh,
party."
really? Yeah. No, but
So it
it's
was fun.
great. Like the fact that you're demystifying. Of course, there's pain and there's all of that, but
Yeah.
you're kind of doing that and giving us such a relaxed narrative about childbirth is also a great conversation, right? It's different for everybody, and it's as magical.
It's funny because I mean, the first time around was again not what I expected. Like I had to be induced, which I really didn't want.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, like I think I was just hoping for it to be this easy breezy, just purely natural birth. And I had unfortunately had to get induced, but at the end of the day, it was a really great birth. I mean, I had my family right there. It was really beautiful when he was born, and we had this. It was lovely. It was just perfect when it finally sort of came through. With Keanu, however, it was completely different. It was such a I think both Mike and I were pretty clear what we wanted to do and how we wanted to go about it. We don't want to stay too long in the hospital. So I was like, yeah, so we're gonna just go in there, push this baby out, and come back the next day. And that's pretty much what we did. It was really funny because I knew that the doctors say that normally second time around it's a lot faster. I mean, I don't know, was it the same with you?
Um, kind of. I felt like I knew the beats more than anything else. The first
Okay,
time around, I also stayed much longer. The second time around, it was interesting because I just saw like I was in pain and my contractions and everything had kicked in, and my
yeah.
family was so relaxed. They're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's go." And then suddenly Angad was like, "Oh, it's really early. Let me have a cup of coffee." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me?" Because I mean, everybody was so. Plus, we also had Meher
It's
by
amazing
then,
that he was
right?
really
So.
chill.
He was very chilled and honestly, like that really helped because I'm also like there. So it
I
really
guess so,
helped.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually knew what to do once Gurek was out because it wasn't sort of, like they also take the baby away for a bit, and then I was just like, no, don't take my baby away. Like I was more in, I was checking in on the beats a lot more the second
Right.
time around. I got home earlier. The jaundice didn't trouble me as much. I knew that he'd
Right.
be okay. So like the first time I would be a doctor coming in with that paper and do, oh, we need to check this. I'm like,
Oh
everything, is
yeah.
she okay? So the second time around when they would come in with the paper, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fine, check. Like just that, like
Like
the
the motions
anxiety.
now, yeah.
Yeah, the motions and all of that. And then, it was funny because before they were like by early morning, mid-noon, let's get the baby. So I had two C-sects. So I had a
Oh
C-section. Yeah, the first one and the
gosh,
second. The
that's
first one, of
intense.
course,
I don't know how you
the
do it.
she didn't latch, or medically they say that the cord was short or something. I
Oh
don't know the
gosh.
exact thing, but I had a great doctor, Dr. Gayatri Rao, and I feel like I keep telling her that the big joke is I had my second one, and half the reason was my doctor because she's so great. But then the second time around, it was exactly that. You knew what was going to happen. You knew you were going to get, you know, um, uh, that's the amount of time it takes. Angad was inside. We had our playlist ready, just like you.
Yep.
And we went with it. I actually came out and it was really exciting. I found the second time even more magical because I saw my daughter looking at my son. And then
Oh,
it's just really adorable. And then they wheel you out, and then she was hanging around and stuff. So I felt like those things of me being able to share with her and with Angad, and of course, our little one was a lot more amazing. I want to ask you, Ileana, we've spoken about everyone. And that's what happens with childbirth. And this is where my conversation really starts. I want to talk about you. What was it like? Like, what was your what was postpartum like for you the first time around? Was it different, and was it more intense the second time around? Now, compare the two and tell me.
so the first time around, it was definitely intense. It was very I think I felt kind of alone also because I had my girlfriends who had babies, but they weren't in the same country. They weren't even in the same continent as me, so I couldn't share. And they would have play dates like a few months in, and I just felt like I was missing out on that with my child as well. And I was like, it'd be really great if they could all have been here, or if I could have been there, and like all the babies could have hung out together.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of would get into these little bouts of getting low and kind of just feeling a bit lonely. But it didn't hit me as much the first time around, I would think. It was definitely like I'm trying to think about the details of how I felt, but honestly, because I'm right in the thick of the second time around right now.
So let's talk
it
about the second time. Let's not talk about the first time. Let's talk about the second time. Also, there was a very nice question that Anita Lobo has taken up over here on the live, and she's somebody who I work with very closely. We have this beautiful run called the Go Flow Run, where we organize marathons for menstrual health and stuff.
Wow.
So she's also a mom. She's asked, like in the US, do they kind of normalize talking about mental health for a new mom and postpartum at childbirth? Do they talk about it, or do they kind of fill you in as to what to expect, or these conversations don't happen there? What is it? What is it like?
They definitely do talk about it. In fact, there's a questionnaire that you've got to answer. I don't know if they do. Did they do that there? Did they give you a little?
No, but there were some questions, but no, not that I remember. Once you tell me, I'll tell you. What was the questionnaire?
So the questionnaire is it's like a whole bunch of like the questions about, say, for example, like, are you feeling less happier than, or do you see the more playful side, or the funnier side of things more than what you used to,
No, no,
or
we don't have that. Yeah,
or
please go ahead.
is it more difficult to do certain things, like like regular household things? Is it harder for you to go around doing them? Like, do you cry a lot more? They even touch on, being suicidal. Is that something that you're feeling? Do you have thoughts about harming yourself, or do you have thoughts about harming the baby? And lots of things. So they really get into all of those details. And based on your answers, they will sit you down and they will ask you like, "Hey, this doesn't seem all right. You don't seem okay. Uh, maybe we need to get some kind of intervention here. Like, have you thought about, so they give you options on medical mental health sort of therapy. Like,
There's no such thing here, and we need to change that.
really,
I think via Freedom to Feed, we must go out there and send these questionnaires and forms to different hospitals. There's
absolutely,
also Vijay
absolutely.
Bandela who says he's a big fan and also
Oh,
saying there's no such thing here. So lots and lots of people who are following you, listening to the live, are also sharing their stories as we speak. But we'll talk about you right now. So you fill this questionnaire,
yeah.
and and this is right after or before?
This is right after. It's the
Right
next day
after,
after
obviously,
giving
with the
birth.
questions. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then also at the pediatric office. So even after you're doing stuff for your baby and you're answering questions for the baby, that's a separate questionnaire. And then there's stuff for you as well. And then also at my gynecologist's office, uh, you've got to fill out a questionnaire there as well. So based on that, they'll consistently keep checking on you, especially if your answers are such where they feel that you need, some kind of intervention. Then they'll consistently check on you, and they'll probably call you in sooner than you're actually supposed to be physically checked, just to check on your mental health, which I think is really great. I think it's definitely something that needs to be prioritized in India and, well,
Of course.
everywhere, because it's something that I don't think people talk about a lot. Like, I know that I read about postpartum, depression and stuff like that, and I felt like I was prepared. And the first time around, it kind of caught me off guard, in spite of the fact that I had read about it. But the second time around, this time has been incredibly hard. It it's
Say how?
surprising. It's surprising because I thought that I've been there. Like, I've gone through the motions. I've had a baby. I know what to expect. It won't be that hard this time, but it was surprisingly harder. It's I feel like I was comparing everything to the first time I gave birth. The feelings I felt when I gave birth the first time, I expected to feel the exact same thing or more the second time around. I was not as overwhelmed. I don't know if I was underwhelmed with the birth the second time around. I think it was just very, I had like this very weirdly practical approach to it. And I was just like, okay, fine, okay, everything's fine, baby's healthy, cool. And okay, we gotta go home and we've got to do this and we've got to watch for core and we've got to feed him and we've got to bathe him. And it was just, there wasn't that newborn bubble that I was in the first time around because, it's like I'm already a mother of another baby and he also needs my attention. And I think the exhaustion kicks in because you're consistently needed. And that's something that I find very, very hard to cope with. It's like, I mean, you would understand that because you're a mother and the level of need that your children have, like from you, that the amount that they need you, not just for, for feeding or anything, but just they consistently need you. And it's something that just takes away from me. And I feel so depleted sometimes, and I don't know how to give any more than what I already have given, if that makes sense. So I just
It
feel
makes
like,
sense. Do you feel that when you said I'm not being able to give as much as I've already given, do you feel you're falling short? Are you using that emotion to beat yourself up when you shouldn't be? So there are three different things I'm asking you. Are you feeling, do you feel you fall short? Do you feel you're beating yourself up? Because I see no reason, and sometimes you do it even without reason.
no, I definitely do. I feel like I'm falling short all the time. I feel like I need to be doing more. I feel like I need to be giving more. I feel like I need, there's so many things. I mean, like, I'm not perfect, but when when you're taking care of another human being, when that little baby is, completely relying on you to survive, I feel like I have to have it together all the time, and I don't have it together all the time. I lose it sometimes, and I'm frustrated sometimes, and things don't go my way. So it's like, something small could set me off, and then I get incredibly upset that I was, set off for something as trivial and stupid as maybe a plate breaking or something like that. So it's like, it's like you get touched out, you get overstimulated, and there's just like there's so much going on, and both babies are crying at the same time. I just feel completely defeated. So it's one of the worst feelings ever, and I keep telling my mom, I was like, I know exactly what you mean now because you always told us when we were younger. It's like, oh, when you have kids, you'll know. And I'm like, I know, I know what it's like. I know how hard it is. And it's definitely something that I need to work on, not maybe by myself. I definitely need help. I need to get into therapy of some sort because I think that would definitely help me. And I think the healthier I am, not just happier, but the healthier I am mentally, uh, I can be a better mother to my children. So I think that's something that has to be prioritized in India. I mean, really surprised that they don't do that because it takes so much to be a mom. It takes so much. Like even if you
Yeah,
have a
I
great
know.
support system.
Even if you have a great support system, the thing is you have to do it all on your own. I think we've established that it's the most beautiful thing. We've established that, everything from breastfeeding to seeing your child for the first time to childbirth, all of it makes you
Yes.
feel beautiful, magical, everything. But it's very important for everyone who's watching also to understand that this conversation eventually is about you, about how you're feeling, not even like about, I definitely want to know your journey as to how you became a mom, but I just feel like postpartum or living beyond the fourth trimester or just being able to bounce back and
Hmm.
to just use the word so and it's just used so fluidly in conversation. So I feel like I'm bouncing back, I've bounced back,
I
all
I
of
honestly
that.
I hate that term now. I really do.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It takes years. Sometimes
Oh yes.
it can, yeah, it could take very long, and the feeling of being overwhelmed, the feeling of um, just not being, like you said, sometimes you feel you're just not being able to handle it, and the importance and how much we need to underline the importance of a healthy and happy mother is
Yeah.
something that's just not been spoken about enough. Um, I'm glad we didn't have that conversation that we wanted to have a year ago. I really think that you saying that you feel a certain way after the second one, and the way you actually put it down, saying how you need to bounce back to a job because you have, one child waiting and giving him a bath, or just going back to living your life and taking this new beautiful being that you've given birth to and, moving ahead with your life is important. But how much time, Ileana, are you actually giving yourself? The fact that you've spoken about being, or like, wanting to be in therapy, knowing that that's going to help, the fact that you've normalized that conversation, all of this is absolutely fantastic because there's so many women out there who are going to be listening to you and being like, okay, if she feels this way, then of course it's normal for us to feel this way. I feel like reach out. There's a community, there are your friends, seek therapy, whatever it takes, because your child needs a happy mother. And more importantly, let's keep
That's
even
true.
the children out of this conversation. You need to be happy.
That's
So,
true.
how far um, do you think you've come in that process, or are you just thinking about it, or you think that okay, the first time around it kind of worked out, so the second time around it's going to happen? Where are you right now in your journey?
So honestly, I think what would help me tremendously, like I said before, was therapy. And I had an amazing therapist back in Bombay. I absolutely loved her. But unfortunately, it's been hard to do virtual sessions. And also now, because with the two babies, it's much harder and the time difference. So I'm going to have to find somebody locally, which will be another process, which is also something I'm putting off. So this is where my husband comes in. He's my therapist.
I was
He
just gonna
really is.
say, yeah, either he's your
And
therapist or he helps you find someone, and it's okay. Both ways is okay as long as you're being able to offload,
oh
understand,
yes.
share.
I mean,
No, please go ahead.
the amazing thing is that he completely gets where I'm coming from and he understands me so well. And it's like he has a really demanding job as well. Like sometimes his days are, about 14 hours, 15 hours, maybe even longer. So like I still remember I had this incredibly difficult day and I didn't want to tell him anything over the phone because I knew he was, he had a really, really busy day. And he eventually came home maybe after I think a 14-hour or 15-hour shift. And I had just spent the day pretty much crying because it was just so, so difficult. Like both babies were being really cranky for some reason. And I just felt like I couldn't settle either of them. So I just felt like a horrible mother. I said, I can't even settle my own children. And then he walks in and he takes one look at me and he took the baby from my arms and he said, just go into the bedroom and just breathe. He said, you need to breathe. Just go and relax. Just decompress for a while. And that's all I needed to do. I just needed to get away for a minute just to breathe, just to like drink some water and just to like maybe relax my brain for a second. And I ate something and I took a little while and I came back out and I was immensely better. And honestly, that's all it took. But I mean, for him to actually do that after coming back exhausted, it was it takes a really, really great partner and an amazing support system and someone who just, probably loves you and understands you to get that. And I really wish that every mother has a partner that's as supportive as Mike has been because he has just been there from day one, like no matter what it was. And he sat me down and he's told me, it's like, if you need help, we will figure it out. We will get help. We will get therapy. If you need someone to come in and be a nanny, we can get a nanny. I'm like, no, we don't want a nanny. I don't want a nanny. So it's been, I think it's been interesting. I think somewhere I wanted to sort of be this hands-on mother, and yeah, we have the option of like, maybe hiring a nanny here as well, but I didn't want to do it. And I think it comes from the place where I'm so afraid of letting go. It's
Mm.
that control of like watching my children and taking care of them, and there's a specific way that I want things done. And I just feel that people aren't going to get that. So it's something that I think I manage with, but yeah, it's I don't have it all together, like I keep saying. and
You
I'm
don't need
working
to, Ileana. You don't
exactly,
need
I'm
to.
working
And
on the
when you were
thing of,
telling me
yeah.
about the fact that you went inside the room and you just had a glass of water, I just feel like at that point, like if someone's there, like I wish, like I want to go through the phone and actually give you a hug, saying it's okay and it's going to be okay, and I promise you it's going to be okay, and you're going to be so proud of the boys you raised, and they're going to be so proud of the mom they have, and all of that. And I know that all of this sounds like it's not even like it's straight out of a book, but it's not. Your children are always looking up to you and always so proud of you. And also, like, talking about the importance of having a partner who understands you. And
Yeah,
here in India as well, I just want to tell everyone that, a lot of times what happens is that we have conversations around equal parenting, or, how you can actually divide the load between you and your partner. And, a lot of men are absolutely amazing, but they also feel like at what point can they fit in? I just want to tell everyone you can fit in at every point. Like, for instance, and they do. Like, I feel conversations have changed so much. I've seen dads filling in so much. Like, just
that's really
it's so
great.
great when you go for a checkup and you see, both mom and dad there. It's just not a line where, only women are there, or just for instance, when I used to feed Meher and Gurik, the burp in charge was Angad, because we
That's
just had
nice.
this thing in our head, because that the more height a child gets, the better they burp. And that's something that we filled in from the beginning. So I never had to get up. Or the fact that he would just, like, when I was, if I was pumping, and then he would sterilize the bottles and keep them ready for me and stuff. So I
Yes, oh
feel
my
like,
God, yeah, that's so
just
important.
yeah, there's so many ways they can fill in, and there's so many ways that they do. And it's just so great, the fact that you're telling me that he came back after a 14-hour workday and then he took over. Maybe you actually, when your day started with the boys, and maybe that first 30 minutes, sometimes I also feel like as moms, we push ourselves so far back. You probably want to, like, when I had both, and then of course here you even have help, but sometimes you want to just have that one cup of tea, like for me, like that 4 p.m. cup of coffee. And
Right.
those are the 15 minutes I take off from the world. And
But those
if I
15
don't
minutes are
have
crucial.
yeah, and if I don't have that at that point, I start getting a migraine. But I'm like, now I've just selfishly said that, okay, this is my time. And everybody knows that when she's having a coffee, I could do anything: stare at the ceiling, lie upside down,
Just zone
be on
out.
my phone, zone
Yep,
out,
yep.
read something. I read, like, literally the back of the same three books that I kept on my coffee table book. I do that every day. Like, I do the same, but I'm just saying you just have to decompress. And it's
Yes,
okay. Yes, and it's okay. And I know when I talk to you, and I just want everyone, I know that this conversation, there are parts that need to stay private, but I've spoken to you on WhatsApp separately, and I know that sometimes I want to dive into the phone and I want to hold you and tell you that it's going to be okay. And we want to say this to
yeah,
all the
we've had
moms
some
out there who are going
conversations.
through. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But okay,
That's
now I know that I'm holding you back too long. I'm going to take 5 more minutes, if I have
no,
five
you're
more minutes, Ileana.
absolutely no. I just keep
Uh,
checking on him. That's all.
yeah, no, no, that's fine. Anytime you have to go, just do this. I get the sign. Do you, what do you miss about the person you were before you had Koan Keanu?
Wow, that's a really deep question. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like you miss what you used to look like. Because I look in the mirror and I see a
Mm.
completely different person, and then everything sort of just warps. Like all my thoughts are just like I don't recognize who I am anymore. And it's hard to sort of see the good side of it. It's hard to see the stuff that my body has been able to do, that I've been able to actually give birth to two amazing, beautiful boys and nurture them and take care of them for 9 months each, and come back and bounce back from that. you know uh,
Bounce back, yeah.
yeah, it's hard to sort of look at that. So I think what I'm trying to do is not look back on what I used to be or who I used to be and what I used to look like, and just accept that this is me, and I'm actually capable of some amazing things. And giving birth for the second time around, I mean, I was amazed at what our bodies can do as women. It's unbelievable. I mean, you had two C-sections, which is an incredibly, I don't know the exact word, but it's a serious surgery. And coming back from that, it's not just a surgery for you because like you have the surgery and then you're like you've got to take care of these children immediately. For you, it was like
I
two
feel
kids,
like
second
it's
time
the, I'm
around.
not sure, but in the medical world, I think it's the only surgery where you have it, and then immediately the same evening you're expected to put your feet down and walk. Or does it happen
And
everywhere?
then
I don't
carry a
know. I don't.
baby as well, like, and you've got
But it's a
stitches and you've
lot.
had
But
so
no,
many
but as have
layers.
you,
Oh,
I
it's
think
just
all, oh, yeah, but it's like every mom, their
yeah,
surgeries,
yeah.
their,
But
yeah, I mean, but
so
yes, tell me, no, but more importantly, you, like you were talking, you were on the subject of how much your body can do. And
yeah,
then,
it's amazing. It really is. And I know that I'll get back maybe to what I used to look like, and I'll get there. But I think I'm a little bit in awe of myself and the fact that I've been able to have two lovely babies. Uh, it feels like a blur sometimes. It feels very surreal. I can't believe it's been like 3 years and I've had two babies, and I feel like I'm living in another surreal bubble of a world with my boys. But I feel like I've completely changed in lots of ways, and it's like another person. I don't know if there's elements of the old me. There's probably some elements of the old me, but I think I'm a completely different person in lots of ways. Um, in fact, somebody told me that I've gotten a lot calmer, which I actually don't believe. Sometimes I feel like I'm
no,
really
I was just gonna say that. This was right here. I just want to tell you that I feel like you've calmed down. Like we had conversations even earlier before I was a mom and, before you were a mom and, we would crack
yeah.
up
We've had
about,
some unusual
yeah, fun, yeah,
conversation.
yeah, crack up about silly things. And most of the time the joke was on us and we would also be okay with it. And now it's different and I see you and, you know, not to say you used to not think before you speak earlier, but you think a lot. You're watching your, no, you're not watching your P's and Q's. You're brave enough to say it as it is. And I feel like that's such a great quality to have because if you have
Or
that, your
maybe I just
children
said
see
mom
that in
brain. I
you.
don't know. It's
No, it's
possibly
great.
that.
It's really great. Tell me, first thing I want to tell you, Ileana, everyone, while you were saying that, even now, there are people who are saying that you look beautiful. You look
Oh,
beautiful. Yeah, I should have said that right, on top of this chat, but I just want to say it and I want to say it again because you really do look beautiful as before, even more so now. Um, were you ever hard on yourself when it comes to like, so for me, like the first time around, I put on 23 kgs. The second time around, I put on 21 kgs. And then when I was feeding, I put on four more. It's unreal. And then I had to lose back that weight.
oh,
Did you actually, know how much you put on? And was it hard for you to actually come to terms with it? For me, it was
oh
like,
yes,
what's going on?
absolutely. I definitely did. I mean, I think I put on a fair bit of weight during the last trimester during course time, and when I finally sort of got out of that rut and told myself I need to start like actually pushing and working on my body and getting my strength back, I ended up getting pregnant again. So, like my doctor specifically said, she's like, this is not the time for you to lose weight. She's like, if you want, you can eat healthy. Of course, please eat as healthy as you possibly can. But she's like, you're absolutely fine. Just don't, go out of your way to lose weight. So the second time around, I did put on weight again, obviously, which you do, and I started to fixate a little bit, on the numbers, and it was really not good for me. So what I would do
Mm,
is every time I would go into the doctors for the appointments, like it was every week after a while, would they weigh you? So I
yeah, they
wouldn't,
do.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't look at the weighing scale, and I'd turn around and I'm like, don't tell me what the weight is. I don't want to know. So they wouldn't tell me, and it was great. It actually helped me a lot. So I stopped fixating on the number, and I said, as long as I'm healthy and as long as my baby's healthy, that's all that matters. So
Yeah, I also think that there's too much pressure. There's just too much pressure, and this is something that I want to share. I don't know if you feel it while you're sitting so far away, but I also think that, if there's a new mom and if she is say famous or a celebrated mother, and then she comes out of the hospital, and then, there's also like, hey, oh my God, she looks great. Look at her size, and she doesn't have any weight on her. Whereas, if there's somebody else who's a new mom and she's put on a little bit of weight, there's
Hmm.
so much trolling that happens. Like it really, like I was getting trolled senseless. We had a chat with Sonali Sehgal sometime back. She spoke about how she got trolled for her weight. More
Oh
importantly,
God.
I just feel like, Bipasha getting trolled for overweight is absolutely ridiculous. It should not happen. It cannot happen. And people need to be sensitized towards that and stop. Please, guys, stop the comparison. Just because there's another actress who comes out of the hospital looking, in your words, perfectly skinny after childbirth, and there's somebody else who has a few more inches on her, do not. Like, it's not for you to judge. It's not for you to compare.
Absolutely.
And this is just a simple request to, like, also, like, people who are leaving comments, or even if it's just for clickbait, don't do it because you're hurting someone, hurting this woman who's probably sitting at home and
Yeah.
watching and reading this. Because that's the intention after all, right? You want
It
everyone to
is.
read
It
it and
totally.
it reaches her eventually. Tell me, oh God, I want to ask you so much, but I know you have to go.
I just
What's it?
honestly, I forgot to get my charger. That's so I was
Yeah,
getting a
no,
little
so, okay.
paranoid about.
No, no. So, yeah, I want you to save this live. Do not forget. When you end the live, please
I
save it.
will.
I'm
I
going to
will. I
ask you
remember. Yeah.
one last question. Any plans on coming back to India? Any plans on working? Do you miss work? Do you miss
My God.
everything that work gives you?
I
Because
miss
everyone misses
work.
you here.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how much people miss me because
They do.
I'm aware of how fickle the world is, and I understand it. But I love my work. I really, really love my work, and I miss it immensely. And I miss being on screen and playing like different characters and just being on sets and working with amazing people. I had the opportunity to work with such great people right before I got pregnant. So I really do. I miss all of that. I really, really do. And I really want to come back. But I also want to prioritize being with my boys and taking care of them, especially because I'm doing it kind of hands-on with no help. And until I'm ready to get help involved, I'll have to be here and take care of them. But maybe soon. I don't know
Top of
how
your
soon.
mind, this is your time. This is your time. Top of the mind. Who's like who's that one director who will give you a call, or that filmmaker, or someone who
Oh my
gives you a call
gosh.
saying, Ileana, come. And you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna, you never know, he's watching or she's watching, and be like, okay, for
If I'm
this
being
one, I'm gonna,
honest, nobody.
oh my
I'm
God,
sorry. I
why?
mean, because these boys are my world, and it's
You can get them.
I don't want to f it up,
Come. Yeah, no, you won't.
So it's
Actually,
something
I
that I
promise
feel
you,
like I
like
will
it's
regret immensely if I just say okay, I'm leaving and I'm going to do some work and come back. And I don't want to do work like sort of haphazardly. I want to focus on it. I'm very like you're saying now that I think a lot. I am thinking a lot about stuff, and I will really take my time to sort of prepare myself, not just mentally but physically as well, before I get back. So
But I promise you, you're there. Your prep is in place. You look beautiful. You can bring your boys here. Work-life balance is an entirely different conversation that we're going to have soon. I'm going to trouble you again for
yes,
another live. But Ileana, it's been so great talking to you. The fact that you said that you don't have your charger is the only reason I'm
I'm so
letting you go.
sorry.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
think
We're
it was
not
gonna
even
die on
halfway through.
me.
No, no, we're not even
We have to
halfway
do
through
another
this.
one.
So yes, and you've committed this on the live that we're going to have another conversation about
Absolutely.
you and Kwa and Keanu and Michael and your entire life out there. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you.
Oh,
You've
same here.
got, I must tell you, you're going to make a big difference through this conversation. And thank you for being so far away and yet making us feel that you're so close to us. Thank you, Ileana, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And you know what to do.
Yes.
End live, save, send us a collab request, and the
Yes.
rest is for everyone to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, mothers and fathers, little babies who are just lurking and cooing and cutely standing around the phone. Ileana dcruz.
Oh,
Bye, Ileana. Thank you.
bye.
Bye. End, save.